Beep, 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 beep. Welcome to the court of the Edijester. How the devil are we today? Well, what have I got for you today? Well, Education Scotland is doing the sillies, right? In an article called Enthralled by Tie, T-I-E, exclamation mark. What that is will become apparent as we move forward, as will what they're teaching. You ain't going to believe this. This comes from scottpag.com. And links, as usual, are in the doobies. While we're at it, please do become a warrior teacher. Come and join us as we fight this nonsense. I've been working on what warrior teaching is about. It's not so easy to describe sometimes, but I'm getting there. So, if you see the advert, fill out the form, come and join us starting in April. Would be great to see you there. Second to that, if you can buy me a coffee, please do. Keeps me going. Anything you can do to help, subscribe to my Substack, the usual. Here we go. Enthralled by T-I-E. Education Scotland is promoting gender ideology in our schools, and we must ask the following searching questions. Why has transgenderism, an ill-defined and unproven concept, been tacked onto LGB by TIE? And why has education... All right, and why has the Education Scotland, our key institution for overseeing and evaluating our education system, fallen for the junk science of gender ideology? Now, if you look, there's a picture. There's a picture! I wonder if I can zoom in. Let's see if I can zoom in for you and see if it does it. And you can just about make out time for inclusive education, it says there. It's time for inclusive education. God help us all. The problem with education, you see, when you make it inclusive, is it ends up not being education. It ends up being indoctrination. And also, it's hard work for teachers. Education, when they're nippers, right? No, nothing of these things. When they're nippers, fine. Do what you want. Once they're at a certain age, education is not about inclusion. Education is about exclusion. And that's what they don't like. Because it's a filtration system. Yep, you'll be good at that. 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 Because you're good at that, you're not going to be in that group. And you're good at this, so you're not going to be in that group. But we want inclusivity. All right, stick everybody together. It doesn't matter who's any good at anything. So in other words, they're anti-meritocracy. That's the truth of the matter. That's what this is. That's what it is. Transgenderism, of course, is just nonsense. But here we are teaching it to children. Why is Education Scotland presiding over the school guidance supporting transgender pupils in schools? Guidance which has been heavily criticised by a range of experienced professionals. You've got there Brown 2022-23 and Cunningham 2023. I think it's probably that may be Naomi then. Maybe Naomi. Guidance which fails entirely to present an accurate and balanced view of the issues relating to the concept of transgender. And why are parents and other interested parties external to education not accessing all of the TIE, or not having access, I think that should say, all of the TIE training materials? It would appear, read the latest blog, exciting. It would appear that Education Scotland favours the promotion of ideology over objectivity. Education Scotland is Scotland's major institution for overseeing its education system. It aims to provide objective assessment and improvement of Scottish education's function and operation. On its website, Education Scotland states that it supports the quality and improvement of education in Scottish education, and thereby securing the delivery of better learning experiences and outcomes for Scottish learners of all ages. Right. Interesting, isn't it? It also states, as an executive agency, means that we operate independently and impartially. Yes, Education Scotland endorses gender ideology as part of our teachers' professional development. Now, I'll just bring in here, I did something recently called Parents Assemble. You'll find it on my YouTube. It's also on my Substack, with a pack with information about a letter and ways that parents can disrupt, and also how you can guard your children, with different age groups identified of what I recommend is the things you say to the kids. Look out for these words, love. You know, that sort of thing. So you might want to find that, because the links are all in that. And then you can perhaps send it to parents that you know who are going to need to really, really start fighting this. Because there's something terribly wrong, isn't there? Something gusset fumblers. Education's worried about gusset fumblers. Really? Education Scotland and Time for Inclusive Education. TIE. On its website, Time for Inclusive Education features Gillian Hamilton, Education Scotland's CEO. She states, having completed the robust endorsement process, TIE has demonstrated that its programme is impactful, quality assured, extremely well evaluated, and clearly informed by professional teaching standards. What's the betting it's not? What's the betting if I can get my hands on it? We'd have a look. What's the betting? TIE is a Scottish-based charity. It states in its literature that it aims to address homophobic, biphobic, and transphobic prejudice and bullying through education. You can't address homophobic bullying if you're believing in trans, because you can't, because being trans is the walking epitome of homophobia. And in terms of addressing bullying, they've been talking about addressing bullying since I was 11. They haven't done it by now. They're not going to do it. You know why they're not going to do it? Because there's only one way you deal with a bully, and that's to bully it. And that they'll never do. Because they're not interested in discipline, are they? No. They're interested in hurty feels and accommodating the mentally ill, who are so mentally ill they think there's something they're not. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We create resources for schools, they say. Run workshops and assemblies for young people. And what do they mean, young people? Do you mean children? Because if you mean children, say so. Young people, that's code. Careful with that. They're kids. If they're under 18, they're children. Assemblies for young people and deliver professional learning for teachers on behalf of the Scottish Government. How can you do professional learning? Deliver professional learning if you're obsessed with trans and LG? Look up at your Q hands, knees, and bumps and daisy persons. How can you? Regarding teachers, TIE states, it is the Scottish Government's expectation that all teachers in Scotland will engage with the national approach to LGBTQ or LGBT inclusive education. Both Stage 1 and Stage 2 of the professional learning course have been formally endorsed by Education Scotland. Training requires the attendance of all teaching staff. So what are we saying here? That this training that they're rattling on about is actually mandatory. Is that what we're saying? If this input, Scott Pagg continues, if this input was provided by experts in child development about the best ways to support LGBT children and teenagers, that would be a welcome input for teachers in our schools. But TIE staff are not psychologists or professionals with extensive knowledge of the psychology of child development. Furthermore, TIE attaches the term transgender to LGB. This is what concept that we've spoken about before called forced teaming. TIE, cut it out. TIE, untangle us from you. It's nonsense. The problem with the concept of transgenderism is not only is it ill-defined and meaningless, it is an adult concept relating to predominantly adult fetishistic behaviour. The Cass report and various other studies clarify that while there are children who are confused about their sexual development and sexuality, there is no such thing as a transgender child, as it is simply not possible to change sex. And as you can see there, referencing the stalwarts of Meyer and the crew over at Sex Matters. And then we've got them also referencing their transgender trend with Stephanie and the team. The question remains, why is the idea of changing sex being promoted in our schools? And why is the Scottish Government investing so much of taxpayers' money in TIE and other resources and other organisations which promote the team? Most of the TIE resources used in schools cannot be accessed by parents or interested observers. The CPD materials advise about the positive effects using breast binders, how to use pronouns, how to affirm children and support social transitioning. The materials also advise illegally on gender-neutral toilets and misquote the Equality Act regarding males' access to female toilets. Look, there's more there. Go and see. Go and look and see what this bunch of bloody clowns is up to. What's up with the Scottish Government? Honest to God. The parent pack that I produced is just there to disrupt. Stop playing ball. Right. Well, what we need to do is see this and see that. No, you don't. Make a list of what you're not going to let them teach them and tell them straight. That's what I think we need to do, because they aren't going to let you see it. We've had court cases and they've still not let you see it. The only way forward now surely must be disruption, but I'm happy to be told I'm wrong about that. Come and become a warrior teacher. Join us. That's the sort of thing we're up to. Other than that, you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.